Alright, welcome back to display of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We're still in the first day of trial for the trial of willpowers. Mr. WP? Yes. Tell me straight. Were you already in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio. I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest.
So who was the Steel Samurai costume that security photo? So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and would taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of the staff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are we going to do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start by getting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right. And it will take them so long to shoot us down that we can't get another day.
Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sound like that. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution staff on this matter? The prosecution staff are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studio was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence. But there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for the verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Real Powers. For what? Mr. Wright, you're tough. The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed the crime. Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? Oh boy, well, we already established that a grade school boy is innocent. So, it's either the assistant girl or the security lady. You know, he always is. But the assistant was in the studio, so I'm sorry, little girl. I hope this doesn't cost me. The Steel Samurai costume was in this dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so, she became the Steel Samurai. So you're saying the Steel Samurai in the picture is really the assistant? That's correct, Your Honor. If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember the photo? Wasn't the Steel Samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot. Oh, bad feeling time. Remember the testimony concerning Power's injury? Power isn't Power Hammer, we had to run through. Oh, and me. What about the assistant? Oh, she was cleaning up backdrafts, I think. She didn't know about Power's ankle. Ah, crap! The assistant knew nothing of Mr. Power's injury. She could look the Steel Samurai look with that costume. But she couldn't walk the Steel Samurai walk. She wouldn't have limped.
That cannot take the legs out from under the case.
Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I have to penalize you as a ward. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. May we move on, Mr. Wright? This fight isn't over yet. If you would, Your Honor, one more chance, please. Very well, go ahead. So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? I should have gone with my first idea. It was the security lady, Wendy Holdbag. Huh? The still samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's entry. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through? There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the entry. The security lady, Holdbag. What? Whippersnapper! What the hell was a whippersnapper anyway? Hold her! Is this true, Holdbag? Holdbag? That's Miss Holdbag to you! Miss Holdbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume and slip into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. But why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in this costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent detective reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes too, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Jeff pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new darning evidence? Well, Mr. Hitworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objection at this time. What? What's it supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Did boy? Don't just sit there and do something! It's my move. Maybe not my chance to take this whole thing. There's my chance! The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Holdbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute! What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy! The one whose foot were raised! He's only a grade schooler too, as you said. Second or third grade, was it? That doesn't matter! I was at Hayes, I could pin my horn in 10 seconds tops! You're tough, Mr. Wright. That boy is not a killer. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it bit nice to the kids and mean to you Hitler's Day with their snapper? I have proof. You do? But proof? Indeed, but let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows that the boy could not have committed this murder? I do? Wait. He can't go inside without the card key. So maybe... The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studio have a card key? I see. Well, will the witness care to comment on this? The windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What was her name? Something Holdbag, Your Honor. But the prosecution will look further into this Holdbag before we continue. That is all. The court is adjourned. Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run barking up the wrong tree. Me! I'm talking!
Oh, great. Start the presses. The windbag won't stop.
Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something you must not to talk about.
Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it was that Hedrock who told her not to talk? Wow, testify!
The more studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studio on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been on the studio that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
And you mean this thing? They told me to shut my trap, and I'll always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Yeah, there's nothing there. Unless, of course, I need to press everything. So there is. I need to. So, you were told not to talk?
That's right, but the studio and TV bigwigs, no less.
Why did I hear about this?
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We're all in on it.
Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
Director? We should have known something was fishy. How could we have done a run-through of the action scene without the director? Of course!
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So, where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2?
But if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left.
The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... Yeah, I'm not letting her go with this. Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder.
I know that, Sadie. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And give me a little bonus on the side.
So, you got your bonus and you still thought. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Alright. You know what? I wonder what happens if I take a break. I mean, it's the second time that he wants me to take a break, so... Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studio on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, we have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned. For real this time? Yes. October 18, 1:04 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Oh, really, it's nothing. Oh, what should I?
We'll be going down to the studio to do some more investigation. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So, now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been Holt Windbag?
What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying the time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers.
Poor old windbag. I think I'm sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right. We'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks. Thanks, guys. Alright. This wraps up this first day of trial. So, we'll save the game, and I will see you next time on the continuation of Let's Play Project... I need to stop doing that. I've been playing that game for too long. Continuation of Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Hopefully when I'm done with Project Zone, I won't be doing that mistake again.